To take you through part 2 of the kinetic type process. Just remember that when you are done in Photoshop, things should look something like this. Not the colors per se, not the lyrics, of course. Yours are different, but they should fill up the page like this. And as a quick reminder, in your layers panel at the bottom here, the first word should be at the bottom right above the background, and the last word of your verse should be at the top. Okay, and just to make sure everything works clearly and perfectly, if you have any layers like I do here that have the letter T next to them, be sure that you right click and select rasterize on any of those layers. You might have already done that to most of your layers, but I'm going to do that now to mine. And then make sure, of course, that you have this thing fully saved to your folder. In addition to that, inside your folder, what you're going to need is the song that you've downloaded. So here's the song that I downloaded that matches up with my Photoshop document, with my verse, right? You're going to download it and put it into your folder. You need those two things to get started. And then once you have that, you're going to go to Adobe Premiere Pro and open up Adobe Premiere, go to File and New Project. So this is the kind of thing that's going to pop up for you. I'm going to exit this because it looks a little weird and it got funky, so I'm going to restart mine and just bring it back up so it looks clear. And then once it looks clear, we're going to import those things, the song and the Photoshop file. So here we go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you're going to go to New Project, right? Then at the top here where it says Project Name, you're going to type in your name. So for example, I'm going to type in Shimsky and then Kinetic typography project. Okay. Just like that. That looks good up there. Hopefully you can see it. It looks like this. I'll zoom in a little bit. So your name, Kinetic Typography Project. Okay. And you can leave all the other settings as is and then hit create at the bottom right. Now once you have done that, it's going to look something like this when it pops up. So what do? You got to import your media first. So you're going to go to your bottom left corner where it says import media here. So you're going to double click. Once you double click there, a little box is going to pop up. You're going to find your folder on the server. Go to your folder, and the first thing you're going to do is you are going to import the Photoshop file. So you're going to click on it and you're going to hit import. Once this happens, you're going to see this pop up on your screen. And this is asking you what you want to do with this Photoshop file. Do you want to merge all the layers into one? No. Do you want to merge the merge layer? No. Individual sequence. That's the one we want. Sequence. Okay, so you're going to click sequence. And then you're going to hit OK. Make sure all of your layers here, this represents all the layers that are actually in your Photoshop file. Make sure that they are all checked. And then click OK. And the footage dimensions are going to be the same size as the document. That's fine. Hit OK. All right, so that's going to show up here in a little folder, and you'll see if I open the folder with the flare out little drop down thing, you will see a bunch of layers in here. These are all the layers that were inside my Photoshop file. And then at the bottom, there is a sequence. Okay, great, perfect. This is what you need. Now we do need one more thing, so I'm going to close that up. I'm going to double click in this area again, and this time I'm going to find the song that's in that folder, the MP4 song, and I'm going to hit import. Okay, so what do I want to do? Well, I'm going to first go to this folder, flare it open, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and find that sequence. And what I want to do is double click this sequence. When I double click it, it pops up here in my timeline, and this stack represents all of the layers that are in the Photoshop document, and they're all on separate video tracks. You can see here it says video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on and so on and so on, all the way up. Mine happens to have 53. I have a lot of words in a short time because it's a rap song basically, okay? And so then your next step, and I'm just going to go back here to the corner, close this up, and I want to take the song and I want to drop the song into here. Now, before I drop the song in, you'll notice as if I try to drop it like this, it comes up with two tracks, like an audio and a video track, but I just want the audio. So I'm going to double click this audio track. It shows up here in my source, right at the top left corner. Remember, all you have to do if you just want the audio is grab just the audio, drag only audio, right, and drag that in, drag, drop, and put it here at the bottom underneath what you've done. Perfect. Okay. And then I'm just going to clear these markers out because I had this set up. Okay, so it should look something like this when you get started. Now, the first thing really is I'm going to play the song and just listen to it for a second. So is a little bit of music for a second, and then he says, right about here, he says, yeah. Now, yeah is my first word, so that I put on my Photoshop document. So I want to start putting markers on this audio track. So here's what I'm going to do. Down here at the bottom, I'm going to go right to this little line right here. I'm just going to click and pull so I can see my audio track a little bit better. I can see all of the audio a little clearer. And now I am going to click on the track by selecting it like that with the black arrow. Just click it once. And then I'm going to let it play. And as it plays, I'm going to hit M, the letter M on my keyboard to get each of the words. So I click the track, I hit the space bar to play, and then I'm going to hit M on my keyboard. Here we go.
Yeah, this album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never amount to nothing. To all the people that lived above the buildings that I was hustling from and called the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter.
Now, that's not an easy one by any stretch. You can see all the markers here that I just placed on, and I'm pretty confident that they're pretty good, but I can always adjust things and move them around later, or just use them as a guideline for now. So these were all the words, okay? Boom, 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 boom. And there's a lot of them. All right, so, but once that's set up on yours, what you're going to do is you are going first to click on the first layer that you have here. And this is the background. This is that background color. And this can extend for the entire duration of your verse. So I'm going to bring it all the way kind of to the end. And so that's the only one really that should go all the way to the end. Then here's my first word, yeah. So what I do is I want the beginning of this to line up with the first marker. So I just click and drag it until the front of it lines up perfectly with that marker, just like that. Then I go to my next word, click and drag it to the next marker. Then go to my next word, click and drag that to the third marker. So it's like first word, second word, third word, fourth word to the fourth marker, and so on and so on and so on until you're totally sick of the whole thing and can't wait for it to be over, okay? But that's the steps. So very often here what you're going to have to do is on this little slider on the right-hand side here, you're going to have to kind of, if you leave it big like this, it's going to be too much scrolling. So condense it. Make it like this so you can see. You can even double-click this, and when you do that, it's going to open up on its own page so you can see a lot more of it. All right, and once that's set up, again, it's the same thing. You drag the next word over, and then the next word over, and so on and so on and so on, and you continue to do that. So you might zoom in a little bit just so you find this a little bit easier as you go piece by piece. And as you increase this at the bottom, you can see your markers a little bit clearer. So you basically are just doing the same steps over and over and over and over. There's another one. There's another one. Okay? So you're going to continue doing that. And then when you're done, you'll double click and you'll play it at the beginning, and you'll check it up here in the program panel and check what things look like.
Yeah, this album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me
So I can already tell my things are off a little bit. They're not exactly matching up to what I want them to be. So I'm going to have to adjust them. How do I adjust them? I just take them and move them. So like here it says, yeah, this album. So the album one was this one. Probably move it back a little bit. Oh, no, move it forward a little bit. So you move it forward if you want it to happen sooner. Is dedicated. Is. Yep, dedicated should be all the way over here. Okay. There we go. So you line it up so you get your timing correct. There will be a part 3, which is the end piece of putting this puzzle together once all of these are complete.